is Frederick Watts.
This is Jean Watts. And this is Love in 60 Seconds.
We have been married for over 20 years.
And in that time, we have learned a few things that we'd like to share with you.
So if you're single, newlyweds, or seasoned in marriage, we think you will enjoy the upcoming program.
Absolutely. And we want you to like, engage, share, and do all of those wonderful things that we do on Instagram, Facebook, and every other social media outlet. Send us DMs. We want to hear from you.
This is
Love in 60 Seconds.
60 seconds. Love in 60. Love in 60 seconds. 60 seconds.
Hey everybody, it's Frederick and Jean Watts, and this is Love in 60 Seconds. I'd like to welcome you to our broadcast show, vlog, whatever it's called.
Yeah, whatevs.
Whatever it is.
Our chat,
Yeah.
our talk.
Our talk. We're getting ready for the holiday
I
season,
look cute.
for Christmas. Hope that you are doing well, and waiting for everybody to sign on in, and we're going to talk about keeping it physical, keeping that physical attraction.
Mm-hmm.
Is it important in your marriage?
Is it? Is it though? Is it important?
It should be.
We'll talk about it. So we'll talk about it, and we'll talk about some of the challenges that come along with that, some of the challenges that may hinder that.
Mm-hmm.
But we want to definitely keep it real.
And solutions, maybe.
And solutions.
We won't be long tonight.
Suggestions.
We hope that you are getting ready in this time for, the Christmas season and the holiday season, even during this little COVID season.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's going to be a different type of celebration. So we're just praying that all is well for you and your family and you and your relationships. So we appreciate you guys signing in on Facebook and on YouTube. Yep. So we want to hear from you. Engage with us tonight. Send those hearts and likes, and we will get it started in about another 5-6 seconds.
Waiting for people to come in and hoping everybody's doing good. But we're definitely going to talk about it tonight because our topic tonight is very important, especially during this time. Want to make sure that people are staying on focus and staying on task, and you can't take things for granted. And it's really easy to do when we're at this point, at this stage, and when we're going through things like we're going through. It's very easy to let it go.
Mm-hmm.
To let it go. We don't want to let it go. I'm thinking all the Let It Go songs that I Give It Up, Turn It Loose. All the songs that I'm thinking about as far as letting it go, letting yourself go. We don't want things to go to pot just because we are in a pandemic. So we're getting ready to get going and get started.
Definitely. And please, as always, we appreciate you guys liking and sharing, but also if you could share this with somebody who you think might enjoy the broadcast, enjoy it, and continue to like and share. We appreciate you guys supporting us here in Love in 60 Seconds. So keeping it real, keeping the physical attraction going in your marriage, realistic expectations. What's that about? Probably if you've been married longer than a newlywed, as you progress in your relationships, things change, especially if you have children, or if you might have some health issues, or you might, whatever it is, what is it? Is it important to be physically attractive to your spouse?
So is it important? Is it important to be physically attractive? My answer to that, yes, it is important, but is it the most important thing? No. Right. Because are you going to always be physically attracted to your spouse? Probably not. I would say, you'll have moments, even though you better always be physically attracted to me. I ain't playing. But you may have moments where that's not the driving force. Right. You understand what I'm saying? That's not the driving force. I mean, every moment of every day is not like, oh, you want to be engaged with that person physically. But you definitely want to make sure that you are focusing on that and keeping that important and keeping that primary, not primary, but keeping that at the forefront of your relationship, making sure that you're working on that. Why is that important?
What do you think is important? Oh, I'm sorry. Why is it important? Yeah. Well, it's important. Into the fact that
from a male's perspective.
a lot of times you hear all the people say that males are visual,
right?
You know, and part of that is that some of us or a lot of us are. We like to look at things, but not just at our, as our spouse. We like to look at ourselves to make sure that we are presenting, towards you, and when you look at a lot of our times that we talk about how your relationship should be Christ-like and Christ-centered and Christ-based, and even towards the physical attraction, because the Bible says that men look on the outward appearance, but Christ looks on the inward, right? So even on the heart, and so even in that area, we should also be attractive to the physical beauty, but also what's inside, because there should have been something that caught my eye physically, your smile, all those beautiful things I like about you in particular. But what I like about you most with that, and that is your inside, your heart, your love, because as we get older, the physical attributes change, and as life goes on, those change, but what's inside you never does.
Right. It
shouldn't.
Right. It should only grow, and it should only become better. So yes, it is important. And I will say, for a woman's perspective, even though we are not necessarily as visual as men, it is important for us to be attractive to our spouse as well. We do find it we don't want our spouse to just let it go either. Now, we may be more patient, and we may be give more grace with regard to that. As far as, our spouses not being, having the 6-pack they had when we got married, having the guns that they had, the arms and all that when we first got married. So we may be more patient in that area, but it does not mean that it's not important to us. It is very important, that, you be a little eye candy as well,
Yeah.
So,
and then, and we talked about that as well as I like the eye candy, because a lot of times, and as you progress in marriage, there may be times or in any relationship that you may not feel, the best, or you may not feel physically attractive for yourself. It is up to your spouse to also be able to give you that support. Be like, I didn't marry no zero. I married a hero, and always being able to support and to push and be like, you're always beautiful. You're always gorgeous. You're always that person that I married 5 years ago, 5 minutes ago, or 50 years ago. And being able to sow into your spouse and encouraging them will sometimes get the results to give them that push or that encouragement that they need to go forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And the thing is, you have that drive to be that one, you a dime, you're a dime, you're a 10, you know what I'm saying? But you got to make sure that you are focused on, or not, I hate to say focus, but make sure that you keep it important and relevant, that you are being, pushing towards that mark of being a 10. That you're pushing towards that mark of being, and you may not be a 10, like 36, 24, 36, brick house 10, whatever, that kind of thing. Or now it's 36, 24, 55, you know what I'm saying? They like that kind of thing. But, you got to make sure that what's attractive. I guess what I'm trying to say is what's attractive is confidence. So you got to make sure that you're working on yourself enough that you feel very confident, because like a lot of times, even on some days like today, I'm not all that, well put together. I had a long day today, had stuff to do, but I know what I can do. Right. Now I know what Gene Watts can do. Don't get it twisted, honey. I know what I can do. I can do it today. I can do it in 15 minutes. I can do it in an hour. I know what I can do. But even then, today, I was like, like I feel like, oh man, I don't, this COVID is getting me, behind the 8 ball as far as working out and things like that. I got to get that stuff, get back on track, not only for you, because I respect and honor you, and I want you to feel that physical attraction. And I want you to feel when I walk in the room or you walk in the room with me that you got a dime on your arm.
I always do.
I know you do. But, but I want to make sure that I'm exuding that confidence, that I feel like that. That really helps when you feel like that. That's really a lot of the battle as far as attraction is concerned, because confidence is attractive.
Right. That's true. Well, let's talk about keeping that physical attraction externally, meaning outside your marriage, and then internally, inside. And what I mean about externally is that as a couple, the way you present yourself outside is sort of a reflection on your relationship.
Absolutely.
And what I mean by that is that, as you, I'll give you an example. Sometimes, with my hairstyle, I will wear a do-rag or whatever. My wife will absolutely hate if I wear that do-rag in public. It may be a cultural thing, but out of respect, I don't do that most of the time, unless I forget. But I don't do that because she thinks that is a bad representation
Absolutely.
of who we are. So externally, that physical attraction, like when you're going places or whatever, if you I like to, if I want to dress right or dress nicely or smell good or have that physical attraction for my spouse, it's because in public, she makes it as a representation sort of us.
Yeah.
So if I was just to always come out, not looking my best, giving my best effort, just as God wants us to always give us our best and give us him his best effort, it'll take a part of it could open a door. Oh, maybe she ain't really treating him right, or
absolutely,
or maybe he doesn't, take pride in himself. That could be an esteem issue or something sometimes. So externally, if you agree that you have to also keep up your best as much as you can possible, not all the time, but you shouldn't just go out looking crazy all the time, because that could be a reflection on your spouse.
Absolutely. A reflection on your spouse and a reflection on what's happening in your house, in your whole situation. It's a reflection of you. So my answer to that, like I would tease sometimes if he would make a mistake and wear that do-rag outside of the house, even if it was under a hat, I was like, oh, no worries. I'm going to come out next time with a bonnet on and some slippers, and I'm going to go with some pajamas and go to the grocery store, which I know he's saying he wouldn't mind, but he would be like, are you crazy? Because I can't go out with a spot on me. Be like, that's not, what's that on your shirt? What's that? What's that? Your boots, you need to wipe that off the front, so I know that would bother him, but, it's a reflection of him. So the way that you look externally, the way that you go out, the way that you all even go out together, it is a reflection of one another. Not saying that you got to be pristine every time you hit the door. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that you got to be super put together every time, but you should be put together because you represent each other when you go out. And then, like he said, if you got your man is looking all toe up, you thinking that because they look toe up, don't nobody want them. Lies, honey. Right. Absolute lies. They looking at, I can get him together. Yeah. I can get him together, or I can get him together, or I can get her together. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's a reflection of one another. And them guy gonna step to me. If my husband has me well taken care of, I'm looking well taken care of, they're not gonna step to me if they can't, you know what I'm saying? And even if they could, but they're not gonna step to me saying, they know that I'm taken care of. So they got to be able to take care of me at least there and then some in order to even try to come to me, even though I don't even give out that kind of vibe.
But it's okay to, when you're outside and if I'm not with you, you are a beautiful woman. You're going to get, those attention. That's just part of it. But it's just like we said before, it's how you handle that attention. What makes it a successful relationship. So it's always to the best of your ability. And when you talk about external, because the way you look physically, and it's my job as your husband is to build you up.
Yes.
To tell you how great you look, because absolutely. You are a reflection of myself, and you are a reflection of our relationship. Yeah. So if I'm not building you up, then that gives an opportunity for somebody else too. Yeah. And then even if you're not looking for that, and that can be offense or distraction, because even when you are doing all that and having the physical part, there's still another part that goes with it, which is the spiritual part. But then as for in an individual, you should always look good when you, and I don't mean always, but you should always want to present yourself in a good light. When I was dating you, I never showed up, half, just I'll give it my all because I'm trying to impress you.
You gave it your all.
In the animal kingdom, the strongest gets the mate and do all that stuff. So you pursued her, men, before she said I do, and you should still pursue her after she says I do, no matter how she looks, and no matter how she feels or whatever. But, you should also take your time to be like, I'm going to represent myself and be the best that I can be,
Absolutely. So yes, that which leads us to our next point is that you can't be telling your spouse or shading your spouse and you look like sad sack. Okay. You cannot be doing that. You cannot be giving your spouse shade and saying, well, you need to get to the gym when you need to get to the gym. You know what I'm saying? You do give your spouse grace and love and support and boosting, and ask God for wisdom. If you want to see something better or see something more, if your wife has had 3 or 4 kids and she's gained a bunch of weight, you know what I'm saying? It's hard. It's difficult. I mean, I work on it all the time, but it's difficult. Sometimes to get past that, you have got to, encourage her, but let her know that she's still the most absolute stunning person, but you want her to be healthy. You want her to feel really good about herself. Right. And hey, you can always say, let's work out. Let's eat this, kind of way. I want to try. You got to start it. You know what I mean? Right. You got to help doing that, and then promote and build one another with regard to that. But you can't you be the weakest link, and then you calling her the weakest link, or vice versa. You the weakest link, and you calling him. You saying, well, you look at well, you both could come up. Right. Everybody can come up in this thing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can come up.
We definitely want to hear from you guys. Engage with us in the chats. We're looking at that tonight, but I wanted to address that issue because as coaches and counselors, we sometimes have talked about this subject, and it's a really sensitive subject.
It is.
And a lot of times your spouse wants to encourage you and they mean no harm about it. But they say something that offends you or hurts your feelings. Yeah. And like you said, if your wife, let's say, has gained some weight because she has children and she desires to have
or her sickness body,
or whatever it is, what you can say is, instead of saying, do not go and buy her a membership to the gym and say, I'll watch the kids while you go work out. Even though that's a nice gesture,
it might be hurtful.
It could be hurtful. Well, like you said, hey, let's both get a gym membership.
Yeah.
Let's go on our free time and do something together that we enjoy, because, I want us to both be healthy.
Yeah.
I want us to both be the best that we can be, because when you single out your spouse, that can bring their defense mechanism on.
Yeah.
And especially as a man, you are speaking life into your spouse. And so you want to make sure that you can say it in a way that is considerate and loving. And then even if you have messed up before, be like, just be honest. I'm doing this because I want you to be healthy. I want us to be around a long time. I want us to enjoy each other. And I will do anything from taking care of the kids to working out with you, making sure that you're doing it together. Because when you single your spouse out, that makes them feel unattractive.
Absolutely. And that goes for men or for women. If you're telling your husband, well, you probably should you do some crunches. That's not going to make them feel good, because guess what? Somebody outside in the streets might be like, you know what? You look great with your belly. Let me rub your belly or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Sure. And then start to because that leads to our next thing is the lack of you, endorsing, you, encouraging, you building up your spouse. The lack of that leaves a space for someone else or for them to crave that attention. So it leaves that space. So you don't want to, leave that space, leave that open for them to feel unattractive and someone else come to make them feel attractive. You should be the person always making your spouse feel like they are the most attractive. That your wife is the standard of beauty. She's the standard. You can't come and be like, oh, that lady is fantastic. She is gorgeous. Or Sister Doohickey is gorgeous, or Miss Merriweather is or Beyonce is. They'd be like, Beyonce ain't got nothing on my boo. You know what I'm saying? Beyonce wish she could look like you. Beyonce don't got nothing on you except maybe more money. That's it. And I don't need money like that. You know what I'm saying? And the same way, with your spouse. You can't be like, oh, Denzel Washington or Chris Brown or who else. I don't know who else out there is a good looking guy. I don't even know, because I think my husband is the standard of handsomeness. So I'm trying to think of somebody super handsome. I'm trying to think of who they think is handsome, because I think he is the standard. What is Idris Elba? Just different ones that people Morris think, or George Clooney or whomever it is, that people that think that is handsome. But I think you're the standard of what's handsome. Right. Well, I
appreciate that. That's so kind, because that's really the real relationship, especially when you look on Instagram and all. That's fake. That standard is not a really livable standard every day.
No, it's not.
But when you make your spouse, like you said, the standard of what you think is physically attractive. Yeah. And then, it makes it easier when you get up every day and be like, I got the finest thing ever, and I get to go to sleep and wake up next to it. I'm doing pretty good, Absolutely. And really the realistic issues is that people change, things happen, stuff goes on, life changes, but when that happens, even enjoying your spouse where they're at is fine. And then the cliche, and I don't want to make it a cliche, because this is also true. Sometimes spouses do have bad habits. They may smoke, they may drink, they may do whatever. And even in their physical appearance, they may not do what they need to do to keep where they were. Mm-hmm. And sometimes after you've addressed it, and sometimes then you give it to God. Mm-hmm. And then let God, fix what and have some faith that he will give you the desires of your heart for your spouse, to be able to fix those things, to be able to address those things, because no matter what the issue is, our foundation is that we believe that Christ can do all things.
Absolutely. And so some practical ways that you can encourage your spouse to keep it sexy, to keep it attractive, to keep it good. And then the first and foremost, let me just say this, first and foremost, you really need to make sure that you're motivated to keep physically attractive for yourself. Mm-hmm. That's for you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Not just, desiring to have your looks back or desiring to be looking good. Work towards that. Mm-hmm. Work towards that goal, because that's your best self. Mm-hmm. That's you being the most confident. That's being, so deal with you first. Right. Deal with you first. Because I'm telling you, when I'm feeling like I'm looking good, I feel very attractive. Mm-hmm. And when I feel attractive, it is a known fact that you give off pheromones, which is attraction. Mm-hmm. It's your feelings, those chemical feelings that come out, they make pheromones, they make people attract to you, and particularly your spouse. Mm-hmm. So as you feel, and you like Beyonce said, I'm feeling myself. Mm-hmm. When you feeling yourself, you are definitely going to feel more, and you're going to exude more attractive physical attraction when you're feeling physically attractive. So you make sure you do that for yourself, because when you do it for yourself, it comes across. Because again, confidence is sexy. Confidence is good. Confidence is the thing that makes other people attract to you. But practical things that we can do to help a person, especially if they're very stubborn about it. Like some men, are set in their ways, especially after they get to a certain age. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we want to put it out there. Okay, for health reasons, let's walk. Mm-hmm. For health reasons, let's get a treadmill. Mm-hmm. And for health reasons, let's try to do this. But also slip it in on them. Okay, we're not eating this. I'm not cooking that for you. Mm-hmm. We're not going to eat that. Don't be an enabler of bad behavior. Right. You know what I'm saying? Don't be and sometimes, and trust me, ladies, I know especially if you're the type of person that I do all the cooking in the home, all of it. So whatever I cook, that's what we eat. And sometimes what's not so healthy is easier to cook than what is. Mm-hmm. Or if we go out or whatever, it's easier to get something that may not be the healthiest. But you got to make sure that you are contributing in a way to not prepare things that are unhealthy for your spouse, so that you can keep that sexy, so he or she can become more involved in being physically attractive, to kind of help that part. But you can't it's a hard conversation to have practically. You be like, I'm not really attracted to you, and I really would like to be. That is grounds for getting beat up probably. So you don't want to have that. Right.
And it's like I said, mostly a lot of times when you're dealing with this issue, when you're insensitive to their feelings, and then it's easier to say something like that. But when you look at your spouse as a reflection of you,
yes,
and as a reflection of Christ, it's easier to be compassionate, especially for men. Like I want my I want myself to be attractive first for my health, for to make myself for my confidence, and then most of all, I don't care what Susie or somebody else thinks, but I care that when you wake up next to me, that you are happy with what you see. Yeah. And it's also just putting in effort. And because we talk about all the spiritual, we talk about all the emotional things that you deal with in marriage, but and the physical part is too. That body and that stuff that you had on day one is not going to be the same body and stuff that you may have at day 1500.
Absolutely.
Because of whatever. So knowing who you are and whose you are, and having that inside, but being able to encourage your spouse and doing the best that you can.
Absolutely.
And that's all it is. It's not that you don't have to have, I'm 50 years old. Would I like to have abs totally again like I had in my 20s? Oh man, that would be great. And I'm working at it.
Yeah.
But if I don't get all 6 of them, and if I just get one, and that's
two,
the best that I can do,
right. Hey,
then I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
And then I know my wife will be happy with that. But on the other end of it, if I want those abs and if I want those, then I have to eat right. I have to put in the work and do whatever it takes to get there. And then having a spouse that is pushing you to be like, hey, you can do that. You can make that. When your spouse pushes you to do that, then you're able to achieve your goal. If you are not helping your spouse or pushing them, then they're probably not going to get to where they want to be and where you want them to be.
Absolutely. So again, kind encouragement, and making sure that you are a part of the solution and not part of the problem. Not bringing things into the home or whatever to that makes sweetheart, that makes the situation difficult. You don't want to it makes you bring home donuts and you want your wife to work out. Don't be a part of the problem. Be a part of the solution. And making sure that you're contributing to their sexy. But again, building their confidence. The more you build somebody's confidence that they are attractive. And again, you said something that was really critical, and that was be the best at your day 1500. You know what I'm saying? Be that best, because that best, as if that best might be a solid size 10. It's not a size 2 or a 4 like you used to be when you first got married. This is a good solid 10, but make that 10 a 10. You can be a 10 out of 10. You can be a 10 out of 14. You can be a 10 out of size 22. But whatever your sexy is, build your confidence. Work on keeping that physical attraction between you and your spouse, the things that build physical attraction, which is also communication, also confidence, like I said, and doing all of those things that'll help you to be more attracted and attractive to your spouse.
Yeah, because in all, the foundation is once again Christ, as always, but it's the inner, because the outer is going to pass away. It's going to go away, it's going to change. But if you have the foundation inside you to love your spouse, to honor your spouse, to cover them, protect them, then it doesn't really matter what they look like, because you love them, and it's okay to pursue the best you that you can be. But when you are pursuing the best you can be with your heart, then everything else sort of comes to pass.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm not saying that don't just let yourself go.
Don't let yourself go. That's go. Very unfair and uncool.
It's unfair and it's not cool.
Yeah.
But putting some effort in, being the best that you can be, is all that you can ask.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you guys, tuning in tonight. We're not going to keep you long. This is the holidays. We're getting ready for Christmas. So we actually, this will be our last one till the first or the beginning of next year, 2021. So we want to wish you guys a happy, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We're praying for your relationships. We're praying for your marriage. And please keep following us on all these things that we have on the screen, at Instagram at WhatsApp Entertainment, Facebook at WhatsApp Entertainment, and you can watch. This is number 53, 54 episode. You can watch them all.
It's more than that.
No, it's about that. You can watch that on YouTube at WhatsApp Video. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. Like, share, and follow us on all the social medias, and we will see you guys next year.
Is it next year? I think we got one more Monday.
No, won't be back next
week. We won't?
No,
okay.
We'll be doing something.
I hope we'll be somewhere sunny, honestly.
We'll be somewhere warm.
Yeah.
So next Monday. We will see you guys next week. So we appreciate you guys. And you guys be blessed.
All right. Good night.
Good night. Well, guys, we have to wrap it up this evening. We really hope that you've enjoyed our conversation.
Yes, this conversation has been amazing, and we want you to tune in again next time so that we can discuss more of these amazing topics and these topics of interest. Then don't forget to DM us, contact us, reach out to us, and we will definitely respond back.
If this has been Love in 60 Seconds, don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
All right, good night, everybody.
60 seconds.